This is Ryan Brewer. I'll be presenting the demo today. We also have on the line Lance Parker. He's our sales manager over the Advantage CRM product. So he'll be working with you as we go forward, and for any additional questions after the meeting, we'll be posting his information so you can get in contact with him. So today, our agenda for today is quick little introductions, which we just did. We're going to give a Advantage CRM overview. We'll give a Advantage CRM demo, and the demo is going to be split into two sections. We're going to give kind of an overview of Advantage CRM, the product, and then we're going to show some ways that it can help the insurance agency and the configurations of why it would be something that can help you specifically in the insurance agent. Then we'll talk about the summary and pricing, and then we're going to leave it open for Q&A. If you do have any questions throughout this this call, just go ahead and put those into the chat window. So, really quick introduction of Advantage CRM. Really, your CRM solution is only good as your implementation, and that's really what sets us different from everything else out there. This isn't going to be a vanilla implementation. There's a lot of CRM products that are out there. A lot of times people just pay the monthly fee and they have something that's very vanilla, not designed for them, and then pretty quickly the user adoption goes down. It's not built around their business processes, and at that point you've basically lost interest in your product, and then typically people will cancel the contract. This really what makes us different is we actually spend time with you. We're going to understand your business process, how you work as a company, as a sales force, as individuals, and we're going to take all of that information and then we're going to design a solution for you. So when you actually get into your CRM system, it's something that's going to help you continue your business process, to help you and your sales force manage what you currently do, right now. This solution is really for the small and medium-sized market, but it can be implemented up to enterprise level according to your business model. And then why choose us for implementation? Well, we have 20 plus years of experience in the mid to upper market with implementing enterprise level CRM solutions to fit really big companies' needs. So we can take our experience that we've been doing over the last 10 to 15 years, and we can combine that, that great level of enterprise expertise, and we can bring that down to the smaller and mid-market businesses like yourself. It's really a great solution, and our expertise is something that you normally wouldn't find at a product at this level. That's being designed for the small and medium business. The expertise is typically something that you would be getting, if you're going with the big names and paying, hundreds of dollars per user per month, and paying $50,000 to $75,000 per implementation. You're going to be getting all of that expertise, with Advantage CRM. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and now just jump right into our demo. So you'll see right here is our demo environment for Advantage CRM. This is what you would see as you came into, right as you log in. You're going to come in and you're going to see this screen, and it's very configurable. There's a lot of individuals who like to see a lot of information, and then there's individuals who don't like to see a lot of information. And so it's really designed up to you as the individual what you want to see. So really quickly, we have this bar on this side that has all these different little widgets we call, and it's really easy just to hide these widgets. Just with the click of the button, I've now cleaned up my screen, and now I've got less information. But if I want to have more information, I just click up here, and I've got everything from calendars. I've got a message bar. I've got a quick contact. So if I need to create a contact really quickly, I can create it right from here. I can see actions that I'm supposed to be doing. So right now it's saying I've got one total action. I can click on it, and it's going to take me right into here. I can view that action, and it's telling me I need to prepare for my demo. All of these widgets are, you can move these around. So let's say you don't want to see the calendar up top. You want to see your actions. It's just a quick drag and drop. Move that around here. I've got this little top site, so you can If you've got links that you want to link to, maybe it's some industry standard, news. All you would need to do, you just could say this is a news aggregate. Then all you need to do is just type in the actual link, and you add that site. Now you've got all your links right there, ready, available for you. So if you wanted to click inside of there, you can do that. You can also collapse all these little areas. So you'll notice I can collapse these. So they're still there, but now they're hidden. I've taken away some of that data, so it's not as busy. Or I can, if I want to see everything available, I can quickly view that information just by clicking that. And then you can remove it. If you decide that top site's not something that you want, then all you need to do is you click that X. And then as you come to this little widget thing, it shows you all the different widgets that are hidden that you can add in. So if I want to put in a time zone, I can click that, and you'll see that it brings in a clock down here for me. So really easy to kind of configure. You can do the same thing over here. So if quotes is really important, I want to put quotes up here. Opportunities, great, but I want to see this nice little chart that shows me all the different opportunities that I've been working on through the last year that we've won. You can put different types of charts on here. And you can also, over here, you'll see this create widget. You create widgets, and then you come over to here, and if I wanted to see a let's see, opportunity summary, I can just put that there. Actually, let's do an account summary. Create that, and then it's going to add that account summary down here. Same idea where you can collapse them to have all that information readily available. Move them around. I want my accounts up here, and then I can pull it down. So it's really easy to configure the system, as an individual user, so you can get the information that you need right as you, log into the system. Now with that kind of quick overview, I'm actually going to go into kind of the day in the life of a user. I've always felt that's a great way to show how people would actually use this. So I'm going to log in. I'm going to pretend that I just log it in, and I come into my CRM system. And the very first thing that I do when I log in is I look at my activity feed. It kind of gives me an overview of what's going on. It also has a very social aspect, and this is a great way to communicate with other users inside of your company. Other sales users, it could be management, it could be marketing, it could be whoever. So for instance, I posted this question an hour ago. So how did the demo go? And then you'll notice that we've got individuals starting to respond to this. The demo went well. Looks like we have a couple of opportunities to follow up on. So it's a way, almost like Facebook, kind of that social wall where you can communicate with each other without having to send emails back and forth, and you can keep everyone up to date. And I can comment on it again and just, I can say, let's make sure we follow up. And now everybody else, when they log into the system, they're going to see this feed here. I can create new feeds. If I come into here, I can ask a question specifically to everyone. I could, ask a question is, where are the docs for the demo? And I just need to ask, Greg that. And I'm going to post that. And now that's now only going to show up for Greg. But it's a way that you can now communicate with everybody without having to send emails. You can see it all right there. So as everybody's inside the system, they can have those quick little updates. They can keep each other up to date on what they're doing, answering questions. You noticed as I enter text here, I can actually attach files and photos. So I could actually comment back to this, and I could actually say, here's that document, and they can actually attach it right in here, and now everybody has access to that without having to send emails or have it located in another location. The other thing you can do, I could send him links. I can send him, different types of information for this type of activity feed. Another nice thing is if you have something that's really important, so let's say you've got a conversation that's very important, you can just click this little pin right here, and that's going to now sticky it to the top. And so no matter how much other stuff comes in, it's now stickied up here, and I can keep track of that conversation throughout the day, and when I'm done with that, then all I need to do is unsticky it, and now it's not stickied. You can like it just like in Facebook. If I like this post and you want to let people know that that's very important, then great. You can like those posts. and then you can again like comment on the post. I can come into here and I can add that comment, and since I can never remember my theirs, I'm just going to say they are on the shared server. So a great way to communicate with individuals, but it allows you to really keep everyone up to date in a really quick manner. So for a standard sales process, most people are pretty familiar with, you've got leads. These are people that you're working with. You've got contacts, you've got accounts and opportunities. These are really of what a CRM does. It's really about keeping track of all of your interactions with people. So let's say I'm going to go work. I decide to, after I've got all my information, talk to everybody, I'm going to go and work with one of my contacts. So I'm going to come in here, Ryan Brewer, that's myself, but that's what I use for my contact. You'll notice that it shows me which account I'm with, it shows me their email address, if it came from a lead, I'm working on deals, it shows me all this information about this individual, it shows me their phone number. Right from here, if I needed to send an email, all I need to do is I click right onto their email address, and now I can type in from here. I can send a message, and when I send that message, it's actually going to be saved in this activity stream right over here. So you can see all the interactions that I've done with them. So I emailed them a message. They opened the message. This contact visited my website. So I decide to give them up a call. I call them up, and I make contact with them. I'm going to click contacted, and they are requested a follow-up call. And then I can just fill in all of my notes that I said, gave Ryan a call. He is very interested, but needs budget approval. So now that I've logged this quick note, I click save, and now you'll notice that it saved down here inside of my activity stream here. So at any time when you come back into your contact, the people you're working with, yes, you can go and find your Rolodex of information, their phone number and their email, but the most important thing about a CRM is that it helps you save your interactions. So now you can go through and see all the things that you've worked with them, say, okay, yeah, I see that they're very interested, but they need budget approval. So, what can we do to help them get budget approval? Maybe we need to put a return on investment proposal in front of them so they can give that to their management. So now I can work on something with them. So now I'm going to actually create an action. I'm going to create an ROI proposal. So they know the value of what they're going to be doing with this. And the due date, I'm actually going to put that for the 3rd, this Friday. I can actually assign that to someone. If I need to assign it to another user inside the system, I can select that user. This one I might just send to anyone. I'm going to actually assign it to Seth Weinart. I'm going to create a reminder that 15 minutes before this action is due, and I'm going to now click save. So now you can see inside of my interaction, my activity stream, that now there's this activity that I need to do. I can see that I've called them, they opened an email. So I go ahead and do the work, I create that proposal, and all I need to do is when I'm done with that is I can just then go and click complete, and now I can put any notes, created proposal and sent to Ryan. So now that action has been completed, and now I know that I've done that, and just by looking through this I can see all the different things that I've done. You also have this really nice action history. This is something that in the marketing world, this footprint is something that's very valuable, and a lot of companies pay a lot of money to have this type of action history. And what this does is it basically shows you how you are interacting with them. So you can see that we had a little bit of interest in May. We sent some emails out, but then we didn't do anything for a long time, and then finally we came back. We created an email. They opened the email, and then you can see today we've created those calls and actions. So you can see throughout the year, how you're interacting with them. Are they visiting your website? Are they opening your emails? You've got web activities. How many calls have you made to them? Did they attend an event? Are there any notes? So this way you can get kind of that footprint of your interaction with your client. And you can see, if I was looking at this, I can definitely see that, hey, they had some interest here. There was some emails sent out there, and then we didn't interact with them for almost a year. And you can determine, well, we need to do better at that. We need to create, a monthly interaction with them, even if they're not interested. And this gives you a big overview of your contact. The other thing it does show you is your relationships. You can create new relationships with them. So let's create a new relationship. So let's say they're actually working an opportunity. I can create an opportunity right here. I'm just going to say, we'll just call this the new project. So after talking with them, and I can then create that new project there. I'm actually going to create a new one here. Name is new project. It's with that account, and the quote amount, we're going to say it's worth $5,000. And I can then create that. So now you can see all of our relationships here. So here's the contact. They're related to a new project, and I can see that they're related to this company called For Life Research. And if I wanted to, I can click on For Life Research and see. You can just kind of keep going through this nice little relationship tool to see, okay, well, at For Life Research, I can see that Norman Taylor and Trent Tenney are individuals there. And then I can actually view that record. So if I need to go to Trent really quickly, you saw how quickly it was for me to navigate the tree of the individuals. And then I can come into Trent and I say, oh, look, he hasn't had much. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call. Not contacted, but I left a voicemail, and that quickly I was able to leave an interaction, and you saw how within 5 seconds I was able to leave that interaction. So now in the future I can see that we haven't made contact with them, so we need to, maybe we need to go do an on-site visit or whatever we might need to do. So that's kind of the basics of how you typically as a sales user would be using the product, is you'd be going in and working with your contacts. Opportunities are, just like they say, are your opportunities of making money. So you can see here's the new project, who's it assigned to, with quote. You can see these other ones of where they're at. I can come in, click on this one. I can see this quote was worth $60,000. I can also, let's go back to that new project. So you can see that even though I haven't called the opportunity, because you don't call the opportunity, you always call the people, you can still see all the different interactions that have happened with here. You'll see how it shows that I created an ROI proposal because it's tied to that action. You can see that I called someone here. So if you had multiple people working on it, let's say you had 5 different contacts that you were working with, this would show you all their interactions. It's a great way for you to get a really good view of everything that's going on with an opportunity. But you can see all the interactions. I talked with Mr. Brewer one day, the next day I talked with another individual, and the next day I sent an email out, and this keeps track of everything that's going on between all the different people that are related, which is a great way to not have to keep looking through all your notes and say, okay, I need to look here, I need to look there, I need to look here. Nope, it's all in one place for you. And that's the great thing about a CRM, is it brings everything together. So that's kind of the basics of, as far as how you would work with all of your leads, contacts, accounts, and opportunities. They're very similar. If you're looking at an account, same type of idea. You're going to have your information here, and you're going to see your relationships. You're going to be able to see all the interactions that you've had with them. One thing that I wanted to show you after this that I think is very powerful, and this is something that is very unique to AdvantageCRM, is the marketing piece. Typically, you're going to need to purchase another marketing piece, whether it be MailChimp or Eloqua, and there's quite a few other pieces out there to handle all of your marketing aspects. This is actually included as part of your subscription to AdvantageCRM. You're able to create campaigns. You could create an email campaign. So for instance, it's really easy to create a campaign. So I'm going to go into my contacts list. I've got this list called Demo Contacts. So you'll notice I have all these demo contacts, and it was really easy to create this list. When I created this list, I just needed to, list name is empty. I could add in, let's say I want to narrow it down to a state. State equals ID for Idaho. I can go in and create all of my criteria for this list, and then when I save it, I've got that list of all of these individuals. So I'm going to go ahead and I can create a campaign. So let's go ahead and, or let's just say I want to send an email out to these guys right here. So I've got my list. I know I've got 154, and this is my, could be my weekly newsletter. It could be leads that you're working. You want to send an email out, and all I need to do is I'm going to email this list. So I'm going to come into here. I'm going to it's creating a campaign, and I'm just going to call this my monthly April newsletter. I've got my list there, demo contacts. Sending as is who I'm going to be sending it as, and then I've got different message. So here's a template that I've actually created before. So you can create templates. You can create a really nice document that you can then use that template, and you'll notice that it created this this nice little email for me. And if you notice up here it says first name, that'll actually fill it in with the first name, and then all I have to do is I click create. And then what I would do at this point is I would just click launch now. When I click launch now, it's now going to blast out all of those emails for you one by one, and looking like it came from you, so it helps you eliminate that you're being spammed. And then it actually gives you a history of everything that goes on. It'll say that how many people opened it, how many, it has do not email back there, so they'll never get emailed again. It follows all the laws as far as mass emailing. So it's a great way that you can include it. You can send out campaigns, whether it be an email campaign, maybe it's a monthly newsletter, sending out invites, just like we sent to you guys an email that you guys clicked on. This is how we used it. We used our own system built right into AdvantageCRM, so you're not even paying any extra money to be able to send mass marketing communication. You can also send up calling campaigns, a lot of different ways you can do campaigns. Then you can run the campaign, and then you would be able to close it and then track all that information so you know how well that campaign worked. And the great thing about, and this is probably the most important differentiator between us and other CRM systems, is what we call X2 Flow. X2 Flow is a amazing workflow engine that's very easy to use, but can do just incredible amounts of information for you. So let me see if I've got a good flow here built for you. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and create a flow. So let's say you send out a campaign email, and so when they open that campaign email is what I want this action to start off with. So campaign email open. So when they open up the campaign email, I want an email to be sent to an individual. I want it to actually be sent to, maybe we're partners with another company, and we need an email being sent to them. So then I'm going to email that contact. You fill out the information here, and then it's going to send that out. The other thing I want it to do on our side is I want it to create an action. So then I could put in the due date, and I can put in that information. So now an action is created for us to call on this individual. I also want it to add to a list. And the list would be, people who open the email. Now you can actually create conditions. So I'm going to create a condition here, and I can say this compare an attribute, and I'm going to say if let's say they're in Idaho, because that's where we're at. If the state is equal to Idaho, I want it to create a record. So it's actually going to create a new record for us. I'm going to come down to here. There we go. So I'm going to create, if they are in Idaho, I want them to create a record, because that's something that we're going to work individually. If it's not in there, I actually want it to send an email to one of our partners that actually works in, maybe it was Utah, and I'm going to send it down to a partner. So, and these can become very, very complex. I can create pop-ups inside of our application. So as soon as they open up that email that we sent out in that campaign, It's going to email them. It's going to create an action for us to do follow-up. It's going to add them to a list. It's going to create a record. It's going to email them and create a pop-up notification. And the other thing I want it to do is I want it to send them an email themselves saying, hey, thanks for your interest in our whatever. Here's a white paper that I want you to read. So without any interaction on your side, as soon as they opened up that campaign email, it did all of these things and you didn't have to do anything. You just had to design this once. And now you've got all these things that are automatically happening for you. And you can do a lot of triggers, everything from, if you inside, complete an action, you can have it, send an email to a manager saying they completed something. If they open up newsletters, if you complete processes, if you create a record, so let's say you created a record, a new opportunity, you can have emails go out to your team saying, hey, we just created a new opportunity. Here's the opportunity information. I want you to help me out with it. So there's a lot of things, a lot of power behind the X2 Flow engine that allows you to basically automate a lot of interactions and actions behind the scenes without you having to do anything other than create the initial action. So that's really where I like to end as far as our demo on there. There's a lot of pieces still that we haven't gone through. We'd like to sit through an individual and do a one-on-one demo with you so you can go in and see more about the marketing pieces. We could talk about the service. This is a big piece for a lot of people, is being able to handle service requests. What happens when an individual has an issue. You can keep track of all those issues, and then you can determine it appears that we have some major issue because we've got 50 calls a day coming in just for this one thing, and then you can make actions off of that. It's got your basic information like a calendar. You can store your documents inside the system, and you can store them against an individual. So let's say you create contracts. You can, after they sign the contract, you can upload that information. So now anytime you go in there, you click on your contact, and you can actually have documents that they've created tied to them. So with that, I'm going to quickly jump into an example of what we've configured for an insurance agency. The great thing about us being able to come in and work with you is being able to create a system that meets your business process. And this is something that is kind of a default insurance agency. You'll notice that a lot of insurance agencies, specifically an agency that's built around the healthcare industry, they really don't work with big companies. They're going to be working a lot with individuals, and these are basically their accounts. So you have a lot of individuals here that you can work with, and I can search really quickly. So we've got a demo of Corey. So I'm going to search for Corey, and I've got Corey Burbridge. He's actually another employee with us. And you can see we've uploaded a nice little image. He was actually going to be on doing the demo today, but he had emergency tonsil surgery a couple days ago, so he's been out of the office. But you'll notice that it's now configured a lot more for the insurance agency. So I've got my account Corey. I can see all of his information. I can see what state they're in, all this very specific information. I can see what process they're going through. This is a very important piece that we can configure for you. So you'll notice that this goes everything from lead, applying to the exchange, linked to Your Health Idaho, paying their premium. So you can follow through this whole process. You can start the individual processes. You can have it very finite where they have to go through every single process in order, and they can't start the next one until maybe it's qualified lead, and then as soon as that's finished they can go to the next one. Or you can have it more flexible where they may have multiple processes going at the same time. So this is a way that you're able to see everything about this individual. Partners would be the companies that you work with on a day-to-day business. This would be the health insurance agencies. This would be the dental, like Delta Dental, all the companies that you're going to be working with. The next thing is plans. This is a big piece. would actually be the individual plans that you could actually tie to the actual policies that you could actually tie to your individual. So now you have an individual and you've got their policy up, and you can have all their information here. You can actually tie the actual policy. Once they sign it, you can tie it into here, tie it to this plan. You'll see that here is an example of a plan. It's a health insurance. It's an individual policy. It's with Blue Cross of Idaho. It's a short term. And if they had any tax credits or premium amounts, you'd be able to store all that information in here. So all of these plans could be tied to those individuals. And this is kind of a real simple implementation as far as how plans work. But you can see that, being very simple, you have all the information that you need. Everything down to tax credits. You got their premium information. You know when it's effective. The great thing about knowing when it's effective is you know when it's going to expire. And what you can do is you can create a campaign that automatically runs for you every month that just sends out renewal notices saying, hey, your plan is about to expire in 1 month. We'd like to give you a call and discuss your options going forward. And you didn't have to do anything. It sent you a reminder that says, hey, this person's plan is going to expire. You need to give them a call. And it puts an action out them that says, hey, create this call. It also sent out an email to the individual saying it's time for a renewal. Expect a call from us. You'll also notice here is that attachment that I've talked about. So you've got their PDF document right here that you can actually view right inside of the application. You can see the information about it. And then if I wanted to download that actual document, I just click download. I can save it. So I'm just going to save it in here. And then you can actually see the individual. This is Corey Burbridge, and you can actually see his information here. That's now stored inside of your application. You don't have to be going to shared folders. You don't have to be going all over the place to try to find this information. You're able to get to it right from that contact. It's a great way to keep historical information. So let's say they've been doing this year after year after year. You can go back and see what they were doing 3 years ago, pull up that document right from that individual. So that our time is spent, and I know there's a lot of questions that have been coming through. I wanted to get to those questions. And as you have more questions and would like a one-on-one demo, we'd be more than happy to sit you down and answer a lot of questions that we know that you have, because we did go through this very quickly, but we wanted to just give you a quick introduction to show you how well this system can help you. And we always say it does two things. It's going to help you gain customers, and it's going to help you retain customers. And really it comes down to you being able to know everything about a customer at one click. You can see how you interacted with them. You can see what you've done with them. You can see all their information, their major information about them. So when you talk with this customer, you're going to be, we call it a 365 view, where you're going to know everything about them. You will know. You won't be going into a meeting without knowing that they're angry about billing. We've had customers in the past, as they start using service requests, that they now know that there's billing issues, so they can actually be proactive about it and help that customer be happy. So a couple of questions before we get to the pricing piece of it. We had a question on the marketing and who has access to that, and that's a great question. Because you don't want necessarily everybody creating these flows that we posted here. So you can actually limit that. This is typically a marketing admin that would create those flows, and then they would allow all the users to use those flows. That way you don't have someone creating a flow that's sending out an email to someone every day. Another question we have is other ways of bringing in leads, and we actually have what we call web to lead. What this allows us to do is we can put a little form on side your website, and it's the same type of form when you guys registered. That was using this form that you would create inside of X2 very, very, very simply. So you'll notice here webinar registration that I can now create a form, drag and drop, and this is what it looks like right here. I can drag and drop and create this form if I want to see, you know, something else. I want to see account in here, whatever it might want to be. I can put that onto here, and now I've created this form, and all I have to do is take this little bit of code. So here's the code right here. So there's just got a little bit of code that you would give to your web developer that you would put on your website, and then now it's on your website, and as soon as they go to that form, you can have it do, you know, when they fill out that form, it now creates that lead inside of the CRM for you. And then you can have it do other things. So let's say they fill out the form, you could have it send an email back to them that says, hey, thanks for registering for our webinar. We're going to be in contact with you. Expect to see this, this, and that, you know, at a later date. And you didn't have to do anything. They filled out that form online, and now it's a lead inside your system. You know, we would typically have it come in as a lead. And now you've got all that information about that lead, and now you can start working that lead because they came to your website. When they fill out a form on your website, the other great thing is it now can actually be a web tracker. And what the web tracker is you just have to put this little script on your web page. You know, you give that to your web developer, and now you can actually keep track of all the people and what they do, how often they come to your website. So you can actually see that someone's coming to your website every day, and that's someone you need to go contact because they're obviously interested, but they maybe aren't ready to be pushed over the edge to give you guys a call. But now that you know that they're there every day, now you can be proactive and give them a call and say, hey, we've seen you been on our website. You know, what questions might you have? So there's a lot of great features of the marketing campaign that we just barely scratched the surface that we can get into in depth. Another question we had is about emailing. And that's a great question. There's a lot of email functionality. You can actually use, if you set up your email account inside of AdvantageCRM, you can actually use all of your email. You can immediately, let's say they send you an email, you can immediately tie that to that account. And so now the next time you go into your contact, let's say you have a contact here, you can actually see what was sent to you and what was sent to them. So for instance, this email message right here, I can look at this email message and I can see that actually here was the subject. It was from Ryan, you know, to Ryan. And I can see if I wanted to view the whole email, I can actually see that whole email. And so if they actually send you an email, you'll be able to keep track of it right inside the system and tie it to that individual. And so the next time you come and look at this contact, you don't have to go through your Outlook. You don't have to go through your Gmail. You can actually just look right here to see all your email messages. And then if I wanted to see that email, here's an email that was sent. I just wanted to follow up in regards to the meeting we had this past week, and I can see all the information that was sent to them right inside the system. So great question about email and the email functionality that's built in. Got a couple other questions that I think we're going to answer offline. I wanted to keep this to about 45 minutes. So the last thing I wanted to do is just do a quick little yeah, if you have any questions, give Lance a call. And we're glad you stayed with us and watched this presentation. We will have this recorded, so if you do want to you know, show some other individuals inside your company, you'll be able to have a link to a YouTube video that you'll be able to watch this presentation. Or if there's specific things that you want to view, give Lance a call. And I know Lance will be giving all the individuals who are on the webinar today, he'll be giving each one of you a call to answer any additional questions that you might have. And with that, I'd like to thank Lance for putting this together, and we hope we answered any questions that you have. Thanks again.